How does he translate to? I don't know how a kicker can translate to a college game. But mindset-wise, is he a guy that could absolutely kick at this level?
You would think certain things that wouldn't matter, high school, college, NFL. The hard thing for high school kickers is in high school they kick off of a tee. When they kick field goals, it's up on the ground, off the ground on a kicking block. And in college, they got to kick off the ground, and that very often. I'm not sure if Jerry Phillips has ever quite made that adjustment and been comfortable with it. And so Kyle has plenty of leg strength, but we're looking for great accuracy, and that's what the battle's going to come down to. And that's, why did Brian do it before? Because Brian was the most accurate in practice.
You've had a couple of days now to think about the decision to go for two. If you're faced with that choice again, do you do the exact same? Do you do the exact same thing in that situation?
Every situation is a little bit different. I think factoring in all the things that happened in the Temple game, and I said this after the game. When we don't play well or we don't win, or even when we win, I rarely sleep on a Saturday night. I mean, everything we do, I'm watching the film late at night. I'm usually falling asleep, and the computer's in the bed with me, and I'm watching the clip, and I wake up at whatever in the morning, and it's still running. So those are things that, did we run this play correctly? Why did this kid not know what to do? Why do we get penetration and A-gap on the field goal? The decision to go for two was not one I lost sleep over. We were on the road against a good football team. We were extremely banged up and injured. A lot of our better players, Willie Jeter and Eugene Cooper, we were so thin, and a lot of it came down to we were not hitting field goals. And a lot of times, overtime games come down to your ability to run the football and kicking field goals. And, if it was the NFL overtime or everybody got the ball on the 20-yard line, it might have been a different decision. But with the way the college rules are, and where you start with the football, and the emphasis on the ability to at least get three and live another day, I did not feel great about our ability to run the football and kick field goals to stay in it. So, if it's going to come down to one play on a fourth down and you have the ball on the 3-yard line, and I loved our play call. We had a lot of success in our tight red zone offense. Not only with our previous two-point play, but the touchdown and the call we had before that we scored on. We were executing our tight red zone offense very well. So why did we go for it? I thought we'd make it. I really believed we were going to win the game with that play.
What did the players think of your decision?
I didn't have them take a vote.
Did you get a sense that they were?
I didn't. I just said after the game that was my decision, and if you need to blame somebody, you can blame me. But I wanted to win the game. I wanted to win it on that play, and that's my decision.
I'll backtrack real quick with kicking. All season, Jerry Phillips been listed as 2 on the depth chart. Is that just because the other 2 guys are walk-ons, even though?
No, because when you go to away games, you can only travel 65 guys. So in a lot of these last games that we've had, Ohio and at Temple, we weren't going to travel 3 or 4 kickers. And Brian was going to kick field goals and extra points, and if it had to be kicking off, Jerry would have handled that. In an emergency, would have handled PAT field goal, but only because of the travel restrictions. To all the other home games, and again, we don't list 3, 4, 5 people on the depth chart. That's why. So this is not a change. Jerry out of camp, kicking field goals and extra points was 4.
Challenges that Kent State present for you?
Number one, defensively, they're the best defense in the league. They're the best rushing defense. They've held up very well against schools like Boston College and Penn State. Their defensive scheme is very difficult to prepare for. It's a ton of blitzes. They're never sitting still. They're bringing corners. They're bringing safeties. They're bringing linebackers from every angle. Certainly with our offensive line situation, and as young as we are up there, that presents a great challenge, and their players are good. And then offensively, they have a returning quarterback in Keith that I think is a much improved player. They've got good skill on the outside. I think Coach Martin does a great job of running their offense. He really keeps you off balance with some of the run-pass dilemmas. They do a lot of things formationally. They get into some pistol. They get into some spread. They run some conventional offense. And they were a team that was picked to do very well this year. I mean, I think a lot of people thought that they could be the surprise team in the East. And before this season plays out, you know, it may very well work out that way. I think you're looking at two somewhat similar teams that neither of us have the record that we want to have, and we're fighting like crazy to get a W, and we both need this week.
Coach, this is kind of a dumb question, but how big is it?
That's a great lead.
How important would a win? How important would a win be for this team?
We need a win. We need a win very badly. I think anytime you win, you know, obviously it helps the morale, and it's some reinforcement on what they're doing. You know, and that was, I think, so hard about last week is our guys, in terms of their practice effort, their preparation, and their effort, did everything right. And I say that doing all those things guarantees you a chance to win the game. Doesn't guarantee that you're going to win. And so we've got to do what we did last week in terms of our practice habits, our preparation. We've got to show up and play with great energy and great emotion. And if we do that, we give ourselves a chance to win. And, you know, if we are successful, you know, it does a lot for the morale of the players and the coaches, and the whole mood in the office is better. I mean, this is a tough sport, and you got to live with the result for a week. And, yeah, there's no question that we need to get this one. That wasn't a dumb question.
Another dumb question, man. How about the update on some
Yeah, I'm
of the
sure
other...
you guys leave here and say, boy, that was a dumb answer. At least.
No, actually, we were talking about your answers after the Temple game with John, how very good you were.
Well, all the questions there were done, though, so.
But they were good answers. Updates on like Jeter, Cooper, and Pronny?
Jeter is going to try to practice today. Pronny practiced yesterday. Cooper, I would say, is doubtful.
And then anyone else other than Cam? I mean, you've already a lot of guys that we know. That
Cam is probably out.
The lineman, I always forget the name.
Blake Walker's out for the year.
Scott Lewis.
Scott Lewis.
Scott Lewis certainly will be available, and probably more available, just because he's now got a second week of practice under his belt.
Thank you.
Anything else, guys? All right, thanks, Coach.